Hey YouTube, since I'm usually on YouTube these days to bitch about something in my life, I thought why not talk about my recent trip to a psychiatrist. So, I was supposed to see my psychiatrist in December, because that's what he said when he saw me in, what was it, July, and I put it off, but I ended up seeing him really end of January or beginning of February, and first of all, I waited forever, but you know, that's kind of doctor's offices. But when I actually saw him, he's kind of like, oh, what do you want? I was like, well, you told me to see you, and I mean, I waited a little longer than I should, but you know, it kind of seemed super unfriendly, and I'm sure he wasn't meant to be, but I have nicknamed him the Wolf Potato, and I hope he doesn't see this and get offended and then whatever, but thing is, he kind of looks a little bit like a wolf, I guess because he's pretty hairy and tiny, and then, I don't know, he's kind of, I really like potatoes, but you know, the word you use, when you use potato, like, to describe something, it's kind of not very useful. Like, I really appreciate what he's done for me and giving me my referral for the endocrinologist, but it's kind of one of those things where if you didn't actually need people to decide for you if you're trans enough, you could eliminate that step, you know. This time I went in and I'm like, well, I wouldn't mind, you know, moving forward in terms of top surgery, and I said, you know, I'd rather wait a little longer to get the best results. And he said, well, I'm just going to send you to the person I sent everyone to, because I have this relationship with her that I refer everyone there. Which is not what I was asking at all. And, I mean, maybe it was too much to ask, but I also, he said before that he has a few people lined up, and that person he wants to send me to has a very strict body mass index, which says I fit, she doesn't take smokers, nobody likes overweight, or I guess underweight, certain height, weights, all of that. And I guess it's just so that her portfolio turns out, but that also kind of bugs me ethics-wise, because yeah, I'm in the like, ideal, as he says, like, I'd be the ideal candidate, but they're excluding so many people, and then also, I don't know how good she is, like, I've never seen her portfolio. So, waiting list is forever anyways, so I guess I'll wait like 9 months, and then be like, hey, can I see your work? Is that offensive? I hope not. But, like, I actually want to, you know what I'm getting myself into, because there's better people that do it, and worse people. Preferred would have been if Gary Money was in retiring, I would fly there, but he is. He's the best in the business, you know, like, that's just the way it is. And we have a few people here in Edmonton, but we have a few people here, where I live, but, you know, how many trans people live in this city, and how experienced are they? And, like, yeah, they can get them off, but I want, like, minimal scarring and all that, because although I'm being picky, I am gonna live with stuff for the rest of my life, and I am lucky because the Alberta healthcare covers it, unless you want to go privately, but if you're fine with waiting, they cover most of it, or all of it. I guess we'll find out. But it is frustrating. You don't know what you're waiting for and getting yourself into. With the endocrinologist and tea, it's like, well, tea's tea. You know, there's not much, like, of course there's a difference of how it's going to affect your body, from body to body, but you're all getting the same stuff, basically. Obviously different brands, different ways of taking it, but it's testosterone. Versus top surgery, things can go wrong, you know, you hear some horror stories of people I need to go to the hospital. Actually, I have YouTube open right now, and I see Sam Collins, top surgery gone wrong, you know, and of course that doesn't really happen, and I'm not worried about like medical effects. I'm worried about the appearance, because I don't know. I don't want horrible scars and like really fucked up nipples, you know. And although I'm being very picky and stuff, I feel like we're allowed to be. That this is our body, and you know, it's frustrating to not be heard when you're specifically asking for something, because we were so dismissive. It wasn't even like a, oh, you know, she's really good. It was like, I'm just gonna send you here because that's what I always do, and that just really sucks. Yeah, so this was my 5-minute rant, probably more, because I overtalk. Well, thank you for listening. Stay awesome. Have a good day.